Myanmar Buddhist monks, just like their secular majority pro-democratic counterparts, have joined in peaceful protests against the military regime that overthrew the people-elected official in February 2021. On the other hand, there are factions within the Myanmar Buddhist clergy who are more extreme pro-military, pro-nationalist, and Islamophobic.
Over the last few weeks, images of Buddhist monks carrying weapons have surfaced along with distressing reports of monks preparing to go into battle and calling on others to do the same. One of the primary groups involved in this scandal is the infamous Mapata, led by the nationalist and Islamophobic monk Ashin Wiratu. For those who don't know, in 2001, Wiratu became involved with the 969 movement and quickly rose to prominence as a key figure of the movement. The 969 movement claims to be peaceful and call for cooperation with Muslim community, but it is widely known to call for violent insurrection against Muslim populations in Myanmar, and the movement has been linked to numerous violent incidents. In 2003, Wiratu was sentenced to prison for his violent retreat but was released 16 years early under the pseudo-civilian dictator Thein Sein. Once free, he continued his work in the 969 movement until the State Central Committee banned the 969 movement in 2013. Though it continues to be active, Wiratu skipped the ban by forming Mapata, or the Association for the Protection of Race and Religion, which continued the 969 movement's legacy of anti-Muslim activities, including allegations of fomenting tensions and violence in Rakhine State to justify military intervention, now recognized internationally as a genocide. For his efforts, he was featured as Time Magazine Face of Buddhist Terror in 2013 and was banned from holding sermons in Irrawaddy State in 2017. During the 2020 electoral campaign, Wiratu's already clear support for the military was expounded upon when he stated that people should worship the military parliamentarian as if they were worshipping the Buddha. He also made numerous disparaging remarks about Aung San Suu Kyi, for which he ultimately faced sedition charges and was arrested in 2010. Following the 2021 coup, he was released by the military without further explanation. The military themselves are known to be Buddhist nationalists, believing that Myanmar is and must be a Buddhist nation and other religions either must take a step back from the public sphere or else have no place in Myanmar. Of all religions in Myanmar, they are known to target Muslims the most aggressively. It is therefore no surprise that nationalists and Islamophobic monks and the military support each other. The military provide resources and legal and political protection to outspoken nationalist monks, and the monks in turn lend the support of their followers and grant religious legitimacy to the junta through sermons praising the military and ceremony honoring and granting merit to the generals. Following the coup, the nation has fallen into civil war and lines are being drawn. While civilians line up to join the various PDF and EAOs for a chance to protect their homes and overthrow the dictatorship, some civilians have done the opposite, forming the puissant pro-military militia groups, and while the overwhelming majority of monks continue to protest the military and call for the junta to relinquish power, a notable minority like Mapata have been seen marching alongside soldiers and militia armed with rifles and shouting military propaganda. Monks have even been photographed in what appears to be combat training facilitated by the military. This phenomenon is so widespread that memes and cartoons have begun to circulate ridiculing the gun-toting monks and their apparent disregard for their holy vows. What makes this development so shocking to Myanmar people is that while many cultures and religions recognize the notion of a warrior monk or paladin of some variety, Burmese Buddhism never has. The sign of an armed monk is cause for great distress and aura in Myanmar, where Buddhism is a deeply cherished faith protected by law and custom, and where there are more monks per capita than in any other nation on earth. Entering the monkhood is still seen as an important and honorable chapter in a man's life, and this monastic life is governed by 227 rules taken from the Vinaya Pitaka. The four most important tenets are known as the parajika or the defeats. The defeats are the social misconduct, theft, lying about one's spiritual attainment, and causing death whether personally or by inciting others to kill. For a monk to be armed, to train to shoot with the military, and to call on others to join in combat is a violation of the prohibition on killing. It is clear why such a thing is prohibited in Buddhism. For a monk to advocate violence not only brings the entire faith and tradition into disrepute, but given the exalted status senior monks enjoy in countries like Myanmar, these aggressive images, videos, and speeches calling for violence are starting to lead many to take up arms against their fellow countrymen and leaden an already protracted war for freedom. Further, as a military, rather than censoring these monks' support and praises them, we will undoubtedly see a resurgence of Buddhist nationalism and further sectarian violence. Theologically, if a monk commits one of the parajika, he is said to have been defeated. A defeat is so serious and loathsome to Buddhist doctrine that such a monk is immediately and automatically cast out from the Sangha, the Buddhist monastic community, without investigation or sentencing. They should lose all legitimacy and sanctity in the eyes of the community. Spiritually, a defeated monk is anathema to Buddhism, and such a person can never become a monk again as long as they live. The Myanmar people, particularly the Buddhists, are overwhelmingly horrified and disgusted by these images. In the eyes of true Buddhists, these men have violated their sacred vows and have lost their monastic strength. But however horrified and disgusted the Myanmar people are, they are not surprised. The military have long supported violent nationalist Buddhism. The military's own version of Buddhism is pivoted and centered on physical force as an instrument of righteousness. The military have grown and protected risics and violent monks to legitimize themselves religiously and to slowly poison devout people and spread racism and intolerance. It is just one more way in which the military insidiously attempts to claim those they see as undesirable, and one more reason that the military dictatorship must fall.